There is no enemy more patient than your own weakness. It doesn't wait for a big battle or a final blow. It waits for the moment right before you hesitate. That small delay between what you know you should do and what you actually do. That flicker of doubt before you act. That is where people break. The path to mastery isn't about finding peace. It's about seeking out challenges that make you stronger. Fire doesn't make things pure if it doesn't touch them, and a mind that isn't disciplined can't survive its own storms. The great swordsman Musashi understood this. He didn't wait around for strength to find him. He built it himself, alone and in silence, with his sword and his art. Day after day, stroke after stroke, until the man and the blade were one and the same. In one of his writings, he says, "Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world." Why? Because your personal feelings are just noise. The self is always crying out for comfort, for praise, for an easy way out. But the world doesn't care about any of that. The river doesn't stop for your excuses. The mountain doesn't care if you're afraid. You have to rise up to meet the challenge, or you'll be buried by it. This isn't just a speech. This is a reality check. It's a call to every person who says they want clarity, focus, and control, but still lives their life based on feelings, cravings, and whatever is most convenient. You don't need more ideas. You need discipline. Here are 10 disciplines. They weren't created in a classroom. They were forged in fire. You don't just use them when you feel like it. You live by them, especially when you don't want to. These aren't just habits. They are weapons. They cut through confusion. They burn away your softness. They leave only what is solid, strong, sharp, and unbreakable. Discipline 1. Get up, no excuses. When you wake up, do not argue with your body. Do not check in with your mood. Do not wait to feel motivated. Just stand up. Begin your day. Act. A blade doesn't need to warm up before it cuts. The sun doesn't ask for a vote before it rises. So why do you treat your own purpose like it's optional? Each morning is a battle between the person you were yesterday and the person you can become today. Train yourself to just begin. Make it your most important ritual. Make it happen right away. Do not scroll on your phone. Do not stall. Do not overthink it. Just move. That is where discipline starts. Not in some huge action, but in the very first movement. A man who can't win that first moment of the day won't win the hour. And a man who loses the hour will lose the day. So get up without asking permission, without delay, and without being soft on yourself. And as you rise, remind your mind, I give the orders, not the other way around. Discipline 2. Do what needs to be done, not what you feel like doing. Discipline truly begins when your feelings tell you to stop. You feel the pull to wait, to get angry, to make excuses. But a warrior doesn't follow feelings. He follows his training. There is a right way to do things. There is a right time to act. And there is a calm mind that works underneath all the noise. A mind that isn't moved by fear, pain, or chaos. This is the second discipline. Do what must be done without letting your emotions take over. You don't need to feel like moving to get up and move. You don't need to feel ready to take action. A hammer drives a nail not because it wants to, but because that's its job. Emotions are like clouds. They swirl, they change, and then they disappear. They don't hold the truth, they just bring drama. And drama doesn't get you closer to your goals. A storm can rise in your chest, but if you let it control your hands, you're not a warrior anymore. You're a slave to your own mess. Musashi knew this. He fought dozens of men who wanted to kill him. He watched their anger make their swings wild and their minds dull. He didn't try to be the strongest. He tried to be the most precise. He wasn't there to feel like a winner. He was there to win. Period. In his book, he wrote that the goal is simply to win. Not to feel powerful, not to look strong, just to win. Clean, fast, and without wasting energy. Does a mountain shake when the wind screams at it? Does a hawk cry when it dives for its prey? The world of nature doesn't wait for the right mood. It does what it must do. You must become the same. Feel the anxiety in your chest. Notice it, but don't kneel down to it. Feel the anger in your throat. Acknowledge it, but let it pass. Don't act from your anger, act through it. The man who lashes out in rage has already lost. The man who waits to act because he doesn't feel like it is already defeated. Your actions must be trained in quiet moments, so they learn to override your feelings. When you wake up and feel exhausted, you train anyway. When your mind screams at you to avoid a tough conversation, you speak anyway. When your chest gets tight before a big challenge, you step forward anyway. Because if your choices are only based on how you feel, you are not in control. You are a leaf in the wind, and the wind is not your master. Look at a pine tree in a heavy snowstorm. It doesn't ask the winter to go away. It just bends a little and holds its ground. That is your way. Discipline isn't being cold, it's being clear. It doesn't ignore emotion, it just refuses to serve it. So act when it's hard, move when it hurts, speak when you're scared. That is the warrior's path. Discipline 3. Train when it's hard. The difference between a warrior and a person who just drifts through life isn't talent. It's training when you least want to. Anyone can train when they're inspired. Anyone can work when it's easy. But you only get stronger under pressure, and pressure never asks if you're ready. This is the third discipline. Train when you don't want to. Not just once, not sometimes, but over and over again. Especially when your body fights back. Especially when your mind is telling you lies to get you to stop. The soft man asks, "How do I feel?" The strong man doesn't ask, he just trains. Musashi knew this. He didn't become unbeatable by being comfortable. He slept in caves. He practiced his sword in the rain. He sparred with wooden swords until his hands bled. He had no coach, no fans, and no one telling him it was okay. He only had discipline, pure and simple. There's no final exam for strength. There is only today's work. Either you do it or you don't. And when you finish today, tomorrow will ask you again. You don't work out for applause. You don't sweat to feel inspired. You do it because the training is the path. If you skip the training, you're stepping off the path. It's not just part of growing, it's the very fire that makes you grow. No one sees the man in the cold, dark morning getting ready in silence, practicing the same move for the 1,000th time. No one is there to cheer when his muscles ache and his mind screams for him to stop. There's no trophy for that, but you get something better, a stronger version of yourself, a sharper mind that no longer waits for permission. That's why you train, not just to get ready for a battle, but to become the kind of person who is always ready. Being ready is just who you are. Discipline is about refusing to wait for the perfect moment. If it's raining, you train. If it's late, you train. If you failed yesterday, you train. You are not your excuses. You are not your mood. You are what you do when everything inside you is begging for you to be soft. Train anyway. When your body is tired, that's when the real session begins. When you're feeling down, that's when the real test begins. When your mind is all over the place, that's when your focus truly begins to build. Don't wait to feel right. You create that feeling through action. You build it with sweat, not just once, but forever. That is the way. Discipline 4. Get rid of the junk. Your mind isn't overwhelmed because it's weak. It's overwhelmed because it's full of junk. You carry too much stuff, too many voices, too many browser tabs open in your head, too many things that don't belong on your path. This is the 4th discipline. Eliminate the unnecessary. Not later. Now, a warrior doesn't just sharpen his blade, he sharpens his whole life. Everything you own, every habit you have, every conversation you take part in, it all has a weight. Each one either makes you clearer and stronger, or it makes you dull and weak. Musashi lived this way. He owned almost nothing. He didn't get attached to things. He turned down luxury. He wrote, "Do not have preferences." Not because he hated nice things, but because wanting things turns into craving, and craving messes with your judgment. When your mind is full of distractions, you can't see what really matters. And a warrior must always see clearly. One little vine can kill a giant tree if you let it grow. In the same way, your small bad habits will wrap around your willpower until you can't stand up straight anymore. That's why you have to cut them out. Look at your life like a battlefield. Look at every object, every person you talk to, every thought you have on repeat. Ask it, does this make me stronger? Does this help me on my path? If the answer is no, get rid of it. A tool you don't use is just a burden. A relationship that doesn't support you is just a chain. A possession you don't need is just a prison cell. You weren't born to decorate a cage. You were born to break out of it. You don't need a perfect plan. You need fewer distractions. You don't need more energy. You need fewer things that drain your energy. You don't need more inspiration. You need less noise. Clarity isn't something you find. It's what's left over after you get rid of all the junk that doesn't belong. A tree grows by letting go of its dead branches. A warrior gets stronger by stripping away everything he doesn't need. So cut out the excess. Cut out the noise. Cut out the just-in-case stuff. You'll be scared to lose your comforts. But silence isn't empty, it's open space. And in that space, your discipline can finally breathe. You don't need more to become more. You need less. Discipline 5. Sit with your pain. Don't run. Pain is not your enemy. It's an invitation to grow. It shows you what's real and what's not. This is the 5th discipline. Sit with your pain. Do not run from it. Your first instinct is to escape, to distract yourself with anything. Food, noise, praise, your phone. But a warrior doesn't move when pain shows up. He stays put because he knows that whatever hurts is what needs his attention. The things we avoid are the things that end up controlling us. Musashi knew pain well. He didn't run from it. He used it. He turned his pain into art and into strength. He fought hunger, loneliness, and loss. And in that quiet struggle, he found out who he really was. Pain doesn't mean you're weak. Pain is a mirror. It shows you exactly where you're soft, where you're holding on to something, where you haven't let go. Don't look away, don't react, don't try to explain it, just sit there. Let it burn, let it ache, let it rise up inside you, and don't move. Your mind will start begging. It will lie to you, it will whisper, this is too much, you can't handle this, make it stop. But the pain isn't the problem. Running from it is the problem. The man who can't sit with his own pain will always sell himself out to avoid it. He'll give up. He'll numb himself. He'll run around in circles and call it a life. But the one who sits still becomes like a rock, not hard and cold, but solid, because he has faced his own fire and survived. You have to become that rock, not because you're proud, but because you have to. Life will cut you. People will leave you. Your body will get old. Your plans will fail. And when it all goes quiet, you'll be alone in the dark with yourself. That's when the real training starts. You'll feel everything you've been running from. Let it come. Let it break you open. Let it carve you into a new shape. Because once the pain has nothing left to grab onto, you'll be free. Not because you escaped, but because you stayed. The pine tree doesn't move to avoid the snow. It holds the weight until the storm passes. That should be your goal. If you run now, you'll run forever, but if you sit, even if you're shaking and refuse to run, you'll become someone that pain can no longer control. And a person like that cannot be stopped. Discipline 6. Protect your focus. Your attention is like the front door to your mind. If you leave it unlocked and unguarded, your mind will be taken over before you even know what happened. This is the 6th discipline. Guard your focus like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. An undisciplined mind isn't a lazy mind. It's a scattered mind. It gets pulled in a million directions by every sound, every screen, and every notification. But a warrior doesn't give his focus away so easily. He narrows it like a hawk tracking a mouse from high in the sky. The modern world is designed to steal your focus. It takes your clarity and sells it back to you in tiny, useless pieces. You have to take it back, not just to get more done, but to be truly present, to see things clearly. Musashi wrote, "See what can't be seen with the eyes." You can't do that if you're distracted. You can't do it while you're scrolling. You can't do it while letting everyone steal your time. Focus isn't a switch you can flip on and off. It's a muscle you have to build, and you build it by saying no. Say no to the noise. Say no to the fake urgency. Say no to the addiction to constant entertainment. Close the door. Let things be quiet again. Let yourself be bored for a minute. That's when your mind gets sharp again. You hold a sword with two hands. You should hold your attention the same way. No splitting it. Be fully present. Don't watch TV while thinking about work. Don't scroll on your phone while you're eating. Do one thing at a time, completely. That is the way. If you chase 10 rabbits, you'll catch 0. If you split your mind, you split your power. There is no multitasking on the path to becoming great. The pine tree grows straight because it reaches for one sun. A river flows with power because it follows one path. You must do the same. Get rid of the noise every day. Wake up without your phone. Work out without music. Sit in silence. Teach your mind how to be still. Every time you protect your attention, you make your mind stronger. And a strong mind is a powerful mind. Not because you're doing more, but because you're leaking less energy. Discipline 7. Stop needing praise. The need to be seen and praised is the enemy of inner strength. As long as you need other people's applause, you are their prisoner. This is the 7th discipline. Live without needing applause. This isn't because praise is bad, but because it's weak. And a warrior can't build his life on something that can be taken away in a second. Train in the dark so that when the spotlight finally hits you, you don't need it anymore. You have to learn to do the right thing when no one is watching. To act without an audience. To make the right choice even if no one will ever know you did it. Musashi walked alone, not to show off, but because he refused to change his path just to have company. The praise of a crowd is a trap. It's a golden cage. You think you're being admired, but you're really being trained like a dog to perform for treats. You start changing what you do to keep the applause coming. That's not mastery, that's being a puppet, so pull back. Not from people, but from your need for their approval. Pull back from the hunger to be liked. Pull back from chasing attention. True discipline is invisible, it doesn't brag. It gets stronger alone, in the quiet. There is power in being the person who works hard but doesn't post about it. The person who doesn't need to justify his actions. The person who does the work because the work needs to be done, not because the world will reward him for it. You need to be like the foundation of a building. No one sees it, but everything rests on it. It's steady through storms, wind, and time. Ask yourself, would you still train if nobody noticed? Would you still do the right thing if nobody agreed with you? Would you still walk your path if you never got a thank you? If the answer is no, then you're still a performer. You're still chained up. Cut the chain. Let people praise whatever they want. You are not here to put on a show. You are here to become strong, to become better, to stand for something real. There will be times you feel invisible. Let them come. There will be times you are misunderstood. Say nothing. There will be times when silence is your only reward. Be grateful for it. The person who can walk unseen can move freely, and the person who doesn't need applause can never be broken when it stops. Discipline 8. Control the small things. Discipline isn't something you just turn on for the big moments. It's in everything you do. It's not just in how you train, but in how you eat, how you speak, and how you rest. This is the 8th discipline. Eat, speak, and rest with control. A man who trains his body but eats whatever junk he craves doesn't own himself. A man who is strong in the gym but can't control his tongue is just putting on a show. You have to stop thinking of discipline as just for special occasions. It's how you live. It shows up most in the small, quiet parts of your day. Eat what you need to be strong, not what you crave for comfort. Musashi ate simple meals. No overeating, because every time you give in to a craving, you lose a little bit of clarity, and clarity is everything. Before you eat, ask, does this make me better, or is this just an escape? Before you speak, ask, are these words useful, or am I just making noise? Your words are tools. Use them carefully. Don't speak just to impress people or to fill silence. Speak when you have something to say that makes things clear. Even when you rest, be in control. Don't just collapse in front of the screen. Go to sleep with a calm mind. Rest is not about escaping your life. It's about recharging for it. Guard your rest time just like you guard your training time. This is what ties everything together. Discipline touches all parts of your life. You can tell who a person really is by how they eat, speak, and sleep, not just how they act under pressure. So be disciplined at the table, be careful with your words, be intentional with your rest. If you master these small things, all the other disciplines will get easier. Discipline 9. Remember you will die. A man who is afraid of death is also afraid of life. Every time you hesitate, make an excuse, or run from a challenge, you are acting like you have forever. This is the 9th discipline. Accept that you will die every single day. Don't be sad about it. Use it to be clear. The warrior wakes up knowing his time is limited. This truth follows him like a shadow. It's not there to scare him, it's there to keep him honest. Musashi said to think about death every morning and every evening. He said this to destroy fear, not to create it. When you get comfortable with the idea that you won't live forever, you stop wasting time. You act. You make the call. You say the words. You do the thing, not later. Now most people live like they have all the time in the world. So they put off being great. They hide from tough situations. They wait for the perfect moment. But death is the ultimate wake-up call. It's the reminder that every sunrise is a gift and a challenge. Will you use it or will you waste it? You were not promised tomorrow. You were not promised health or wealth or peace. You were promised only one thing, an end. The only question is, how will you meet it? With a list of regrets or with the pride of having lived fully? Death gives life meaning. It sharpens your focus, it kills your ego, it takes away the option of someday. So accept it, feel it, then act, not with panic, but with purpose. The man who has already accepted his own death moves with total freedom. He's not afraid of being alone or being disliked. He's not afraid to walk right into the fire because he knows every step could be his last, and he's determined to make it a good one. Don't waste time running from something you can't escape. Turn and face it. Let it give you focus. And when your final moment comes, you won't be scared. You'll be ready. A man who accepts death has nothing left to fear and nothing left to lose. Discipline 10. Hold the line. Never fold. There will be days when every part of you wants to quit. Not because you're weak, but because the process is hard, because the path is lonely, because your old self is screaming to be let off the hook. This is the 10th discipline. Hold the line no matter what. Not when it's easy. Not when people are watching. Hold the line in the dark. Hold it when you're full of doubt. Hold it when anyone else would forgive you for giving up. Because what you do when it's the hardest is what shows who you really are. Discipline isn't built on good moods, it's built by refusing to change when things get tough. Musashi held the line. When he was outnumbered, when he was hungry, when he was alone, he did not break. He moved forward or he stood his ground. But he never ever went backward. The world will test you. It will throw storms at you. People will let you down. Your own mind will lie to you, and still you must hold the line. Not because you're guaranteed to win, but because you refuse to give up on the promise you made to yourself. You promised your best self that you would show up. Every time you compromise, you break that promise. Hold the line when you feel tired, when you feel broken, when you feel like no one sees you. Hold it. A tree doesn't decide every day to stay a tree, it just is. Your principles should be the same, non-negotiable. Discipline is not a schedule, it's a promise. A promise that doesn't care if you're uncomfortable. A promise that says, this is who I am no matter what. You don't become great by waking up and deciding who to be each day. You become great by having already decided. Your line is your answer. Your line is your path. And when everything else is gone, your line is what's left. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, you will be tested. Yes, you will shake. But you will not break because you will not allow it. Let other people give up. Let them drift. Let them build their lives on feelings and luck. That is not you. You are being forged. You are solid. You are the one who is still standing when the fire burns out. Hold the line, not just today, but every day. Even when you feel cracked, even when you feel empty, even when everything screams at you to let go, hold it anyway. Because that is where a warrior is born. Not in a victory, but in the refusal to break. What's left in the end? After all the struggle, the pain, the loneliness, and the mornings where getting up felt impossible, only one thing matters. Did you keep going? This journey isn't about being perfect. It's about not giving up. The person who wins is not always the strongest. It's the person who refused to quit. Musashi kept going. Through 60 duels, through hunger and being cast out, he stayed on the path. Because mastery isn't just about being good at something, it's about showing up no matter what. It's about staying calm when everyone else is panicking. It's about staying clear when the world is confusing. It's about staying whole when everything around you is falling apart. A warrior trains for this, not for a trophy, but for the ability to stand on his own when there's nothing else to hold him up. Most people quit when things get heavy or boring, but that's where the real work begins. When it's just you and your principles. No audience, no rewards, no light at the end of the tunnel. And still you walk, you get up, you breathe, you hold your ground. You were not made to quit. You were made in the dark to become something the world can't break. You don't need all the answers, you just need the will to keep going. A tree doesn't worry if it will survive the winter. It just digs its roots deeper and waits. You do the same. Become the person who is still there when the crowd leaves, when the praise stops, when your strength is gone. Remain anyway. That is the mark of a true warrior, not a trophy or a title, but the simple fact, he remained. Let that be your story, that you did not bend when others did, that you stood where others fell, that you chose to keep walking even when it cost you everything. The fire inside. The path never ends. It just gets deeper. After all the work, all the struggle, all the moments you refuse to give in, you arrive at a new starting line. This isn't the end. This is where you truly begin. The final discipline is not a rule. It's a fire inside you. And your job is to keep it lit. Not a fire of anger, but the quiet, steady burn of commitment. You've worked hard to build this new version of yourself. Now you must protect it. The world will try to make you soft again. It will offer you comfort, distractions, and easy pleasures. Refuse them all. You're not here to be liked. You are here to stay true to your path. Musashi didn't retire into a soft life. He kept training, writing, and teaching until his last day. He kept his fire lit. You must do the same. Wake with discipline, sleep with peace, move with a purpose, and never ever forget how it felt to be weak. Keep that memory sharp. It will remind you why you started. Mastery isn't something you get once. It's something you protect every single day. You are the fire now. When days are boring, you burn. When people leave you, you burn. When you don't see results, you burn. Because the goal was never to be finished. The goal was to be strong. And building strength never ends. You are not here to be understood. You are not here to be popular. You are here to walk your path, the one with no end. The one that few choose, but all respect. Keep the fire lit, and if it starts to fade, don't worry. Go back to the beginning. Wake up, stand up, train, cut away the junk, breathe, and remain. This is who you are now, and nothing can take that away from you.